Hi, everyone. I'm Krista Rosen, and welcome to Module 1 of the Intuitive Parent course. This is Module 1, the Informed Intuition Method. A little bit about me. I'm the author of 2 self-help books, an energy healer, and an intuitive guide. Most importantly, I'm the mom of 2 adult children who've had amazing recovery journeys. I'm here to tell you that you can do it. You have the natural ability to connect and learn from your intuition. So, why intuition? Let me share a little bit about me and my story. Like many moms, my life changed the moment I realized my children were living with numerous chronic health conditions and symptoms. And at first, I panicked and I defaulted to my analytical mind, trying to solve every problem through research, logic, and strategy. Watching them suffer every day was just the absolute worst. It was heartbreaking, and every fiber of my being was focused on ending their struggles. Along the way, I discovered other moms who were successfully finding solutions. I learned about root cause approaches, and over time, not only did I find healing for my children, but also for myself through these root cause healing approaches. We were able to reverse many of our conditions. And it was during this journey that I first heard the concept of informed intuition. And it came from my friend Laura Sawyer, a renowned patient advocate for chronic Lyme disease. One day we were talking about intuition, and I was encouraging her to trust hers because I had newly discovered my intuition and started exploring working with it. And she looked at me with skepticism and said, I would never just trust my intuition. I always make sure that I have all of the information first before I even consider what my gut feelings say. And that conversation planted a seed in me. It just really struck a chord. And I realized that our minds are not the enemies, they are our powerful allies. So years later, I created a structured method to help me make decisions for my children. And I began to share this method with other moms, calling it the informed intuition method, and eventually students and clients. I'll share this method with you now so that you can confidently access and work with your intuition and collaboration with your analytical mind. And then here is the beautiful copyright notice and the terms of use. And basically all of this means that you cannot share this information, this course, with anyone. It's or copy it. It's for personal use. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out. Okay, so here we go. Here is a key method to connecting to your intuition. So using this method here, I'm going to use an example of buying a car, big ticket decision, lots of skin in the game. So it's a good example. If you already have a challenging decision in mind that you want to play along with and do as we go through this, I suggest just go ahead and try that as you walk through this method with me. Or you can start with something simple, such as deciding what you want to have for lunch. This method can be applied to any aspect of your life, and it doesn't have to be just parent related, even though this is why you're here, right? It's for how do I use this to be, working with my life as a parent. Other examples might be, which way to drive home in traffic. Should I take this road or that road? Or what time should I leave? Should I upgrade my phone? Should I call the mom of my child's friend? Should I go with this plan or this plan at work? Selecting a college or school for your kids, choosing a campaign or a project, picking a handyman from Google, trusting your partner, taking a job. It can be anything. These decisions that we make in our lives. So here is the list here, steps 1 through 6, and this is also part of your companion PDF. So the first step 1, is do your homework. So, this first step is what you've always done by using your mind, our analytical minds. You do your reading, researching, asking for opinions, and you gather all of the elements you need to make this informed decision. And the difference is this time that you give yourself a time limit. You know yourself best. You know how much time that you realistically need. This isn't your first rodeo, right? So, by setting a time limit, you create a healthy boundary, especially if you tend to overthink. So, you can go ahead and you can do that if you already haven't done so. And this time, as we learned in the introduction module, consider your soul drivers during this stage, because this will really also, help streamline this process for you. So back to my car example using my soul drivers, I gave myself 4 to 5 days to research the car question. I looked up the Kelly Blue Book, Consumer Reports. I took test drives. I asked friends and neighbors, and I considered pricing. What was in my budget. What I wanted my budget to be, and I narrowed it down to 3 mid-size SUVs. I wanted something in weather and for travel. And I factored in those soul drivers, right? I gave consideration into thinking about what it'd feel like to drive yet another Subaru, because our other car is a Subaru here in Oregon, or what might an owning a BMW might project to the world, or how practical a Kia would be. And so I'm a big note taker. So I'll just share, some of the things that I do in case if it lands for you. I like to use a notebook for this exercise. You can also use your phone app. You can use your computer, whatever it is you need that's going to be helpful for you. You know yourself, what works for you. And to make it fun, I use gold and silver pens. I use gold for the divine feminine energy, the intuitive energy, and I use silver for the research. Uh, Gold for research, the divine masculine energy, the mind, and silver for the divine feminine energy. And so I like to do that. It makes it fun. But whatever works for you, your phone, computer, as I mentioned. And so when you have these options, as you can see my little photo here, I have file folders and I've labeled them A, B, and C with sticky notes. And inside, I had brochures and other like handouts and things I printed off of my computer, and so that I can, take notes on them. And not everybody does research like this, but just as an example. And so this is, what you need to do for step one. So step two is to narrow down to 3 options and then label them, A, B, and C, and writing, either A, B, C or 1, 2, 3 on a sticky note or a blank page. And that removes the clutter and streamlines it to away from just the mental note taking to just your intuition. Step 3, so then you want to set those aside. Step 3 is you want to find yourself in a relaxed, quiet environment. As you can see, I have my little sticky notes in front of me. It's just something a little tangible. You don't need to. You can just have it in your mind if you'd like. And take 3 mindful breaths and close your eyes. So like this. And that it tends to feel good for most people. You can even just do longer, as long as you need to, breathing so that you can get into that relaxed, quiet, calm state, as much as you can as you do this, and then also the right day and time of the day, and perhaps if you're have some solo time, to bring your attention inward. So that's the next thing you want to do. Step 4 is you want to sit one at a time with each option. So you start with option A and close your eyes and think of the option A. Notice any sensations, any thoughts, any memories, emotions. And there's no forcing forcing this, just simply allow, just notice. And when you feel complete with this, jot down any notes with your gold pen or your silver pen. That is actually silver pen for the intuition. Anything there that you want to take note of, if that works for you. And so whatever it is that you're the subject of your choice. So for me, I started out with the Subaru. I imagine driving the Subaru in different situations. I imagine my child driving the car, parallel parking downtown, which is always difficult. Um, Navigating in snow and ice, doing errands, going to the grocery store. I noticed the smell of the inside of the car, the interior, the feel of the seats, the steering wheel, the sound of the engine. And I felt, so with this new Subaru choice, I felt calm and grounded. So you can do this with your choice that you're looking at and just sit with it. And you can sit with this for several days if you want. If you don't feel like you're getting enough information, or if you don't feel as calm as you'd like, to do that. So, and then when you do this, you can move on to option B and C. If this process feels new to you and it feels a little awkward, you can do a warm-up exercise with a simple sensory memory of something easy that you think of, that you can easily think of. For example, something with your children, such as, like for me, is the experience of hugging my child, my daughter. My kids don't live at home anymore. But I imagine when I miss them, I imagine my daughter's presence in the savory sweetness of being close to her, giving her a hug, or listening to my son singing in the shower when he's home, giving us a little concert, or just the aroma of food cooking on the stove, or petting my dog. These are all very calming sensory experiences. And so you can even start with one of those with your children, or a pet, or something, or step out in nature to get you to that place. And again, there's no pushing or forcing or rush when we're doing this kind of work. There's no right or wrong way to do it. There isn't. If it was only that easy, right? And then you want to continue on and sit with B. And so for me, my car example, I went with the BMW for my choice B. And I felt, when I tuned in and I just kind of noticed, I felt uneasy about my kids driving it in the snow, because the car felt stiffer. And I knew that that judgment, I knew that I would be sensing judgment from other people if my children were driving a BMW to school. And I just, as much as I was aware of it, I just didn't want that. And so I just moved on to the, choice C, which is the Kia. And I tapped into that, tuned in. And for that, it felt pretty neutral. It wasn't as fun or enjoyable as the others, but it felt good to drive it, and felt neutral, imagining my kids driving the Kia. And so I did that. And then step 5 is to, when you've completed this process, however long you need, take as much time as you need. You can also sleep on it, as they say. Once you've done all of this, go to step 5, which is sitting with your sticky notes. And here's that little example, my little photo of my sticky notes, or you can write them, on a piece of paper, or just on your phone notes, or just imagine them in your mind, and return to those sticky notes without any of the other stuff, putting away those files, anything else that you may have. And then take a few mindful breaths and just notice, and allow one of these choices to stand out. And you might already know what it is, but it's good to follow through with this process, especially for something that's a larger decision, and allow one to stand out. It may spark or tingle or bring a sense of knowing, or you may just feel dread or unease about one of them. And so, you just allow that experience of just one to stand out. And then you move on to step 6, which is trust. trust the option that your intuition has chosen, or that your intuition has illuminated something else that is going on. Sometimes we have to go back to the drawing board. Your intuition may, tell you, oh, these aren't right, or you might want to bring in another parameter or take away another parameter, whatever it may be, that is going on. But just notice, because you've done the homework. You started out with step one, which is do your homework like you've always done. You're a master at it. You know who you are. You know what works for you, what your parameters are, and your mind has done your beautiful mind has done its job, and just put it aside. So this is what this informed intuition method is about, is expanding it beyond what you've always done, right? So what's beyond this homework part, which is the following steps after that. And then, you do that and just see what happens when you collaborate with your intuition. And your intuition is your truth. It knows. It really does. It knows. And again, it can also illuminate something, and then to go back, and you can revisit and do this again and again until you get it to the place that you want to be with it all. Okay, so next. So that is the process, and we'll don't worry if it doesn't make sense, or if you're not sure, don't remember the different parts, because we will work with this method throughout the rest of this course, and implementing it right away, giving practical examples in everyday life. So that's what I'm very excited about to do with you. But here's a mantra for you to help bolster this new method, which is, I'm ready to believe. I believe in my heart. I can do it. I'll repeat that for you. I'm ready to believe. I believe in my heart. I can do it. So, and remember, I'm just helping you remember how to do it, because you already do know how. You have your beautiful, your authentic self inside, your inner being that's here for you, has all the answers. And so, yeah, congratulations on getting this far. And I'll see you at the next module.